everyone, it's DudeInASuit from DudeInASuit ASMR back at it with another video. This time it's going to be something a little bit different. Instead of just doing the soft talking like I was doing before, or the whispering that is, I'm going to be speaking a little softer but a little louder, just to see if this is something that you guys like. So this video is going to be different because I'm going to be going through all of the things that I like to do for fun, my hobbies, ranging from reading and writing all the way to fitness, and I'm also a coffee enthusiast. I love coffee. That's one of my favorite beverages to consume, even when it's like 10 p.m. at night. You know, I just love the taste of it. It doesn't really do anything for me anymore in terms of staying awake, but so yeah, that's what's it going to be. Is I'm going to be sharing a couple of different hobbies that I have. Alright, let's get back into it. So the first is, and I actually don't do this hobby very much anymore because I had to sell a couple of my belongings to pump some money into the business that I now run, being an entrepreneur and all. But I used to game a lot. I used to game a ton, and one of my favorite games of all time, I love it so much, is Skyrim. That's right, Skyrim. I played this game probably since I was 17 years old, and I've pumped, if I had to guess, maybe a couple thousand hours into this game. I love it. I played the first few hundred hours on an Xbox, and then after that I played the rest on my PC, and I ended up building my own custom PC just to play this game. That's it. So it's a pretty big book, and I love the way that the pages sound when you swipe through them. So let's see here. So we have a couple of side quests. Basically, this is like a guide to the game. I hope I'm allowed to show this because it might be copyrighted. I don't know. But I never actually used this when playing the game, but I bought it because I was such a big fan of the game and I wanted to support Bethesda in any way possible. So that's my favorite game of all time, back when I used to video game. A throwback, circa 1996 or 97, I used to play a lot of Pokemon on like the Game Boy Color, and even the beginning of 2000, right after 2000 when the SP came out, I played a lot of Pokemon Emerald was probably my favorite Pokemon game in terms of those. But I also don't just play video games, or I didn't just play video games. I am a huge fan of fitness, and I just recently, I guess within the last, I don't know, like 4 years or so, lost about 30 pounds. In high school, I weighed about 160, and then I lost it to about 130, and then I started lifting and getting into fitness, and I gained it back. I want to say it's all muscle, but it's not. There obviously is some fat there, but now I'm weighing around 150 pounds. So it's something I'm very passionate about, and it makes me feel better about myself and about my body and the way I feel. So for fitness, one of the things I like to do is strength training and weightlifting, but I also like to do like physical activities. Excuse me, Jesus. So I love to kickbox. These are my boxing gloves. I'm gonna cover the label so I don't want you to think that I'm like sponsoring any boxing gym in particular, but these are my kickboxing gloves, and kickboxing is something that I'm not too good at, but I love to do it because it is a great stress reliever after a really long week of client meetings and schoolwork and everything else that life throws at you. So I love the way they sound when they rub together. So here we go. Oh, and apologies if you hear like the train in the background. I live right next The rent's cheap. I especially like it when the bottoms of the glove rub together. Oops, I showed it anyway. So I go to the I Love Kickboxing gym that they have in the East Coast. Love it. So there's kickboxing, and along with a lot of the fitness endeavors, I guess you'd call them, I also take a lot of supplements on a daily basis, not all just for physical performance enhancement, but also for my brain, because I found that I was having a lot of brain fog and I couldn't really think well or think clearly. And I know that I'm a fairly smart guy, and I was feeling that maybe my brain wasn't functioning to its highest capacity and allowing me to achieve. So I started doing some research on things called nootropics, and I picked up a couple things. So this isn't particularly for your brain, but it's good for regeneration of your cells and metabolism. So it's alpha lipoic acid, and I take the 200 milligram dose every time I eat, and then I cycle off every couple months. So So I'll talk a little bit later about this, but I'm a huge fan of Tim Ferriss. He's a biohacker, Silicon Valley entrepreneur, and one of the books he wrote was called The 4-Hour Body. And when I was gaining from 130 to 150 pounds that I'm at now, I followed his Occam's protocol that he calls for in the 4-Hour Body, which its objective is to gain the most amount of size you can in a short amount of time. And from that book, I also decided to order something that he developed, his own company. It was called Body Quick, but it's since been rebranded as something called Brain Quicken, which it's basically a cognitive and neural support nootropic. And for me, at least, it allows me to kind of be more social. I feel a little more like myself. And then I also am able to easily focus from one task to the other with not a lot of turnover time. Because before, when I was doing tasks, I'd get really involved in something, and then when I had to switch over to something else, like another assignment, I couldn't because I was just so involved. And I had to take like 15 minutes to turn over. But with this, I can switch from one task to another with efficiency and get it done pretty well. So that's Brain Quicken. And then I also take something called choline, which it supports cardiovascular health, but it also helps with controlling headaches when it comes to using things like Brain Quicken, which is a nootropic, because it allows for increased recovery of the brain so that you aren't burned out so quickly. And last but not least, for the supplements that I take, I have some, I know it's pretty basic, but some extra virgin coconut oil, which I get from either Stop and Shop or Trader Joe's. I think this one's from, Stop and Shop. It's Nature's Promise, their brand. But I do it because for the longest time I followed an intermittent fasting diet, which I'll put a link in the description about what intermittent fasting is. But it's what helped me lose about 30 pounds of mostly fat when I first came to college. And this keeps me in ketosis, which is a big part of intermittent fasting. I won't get into it in this video, but I'll leave a link down below in the description. So, on to my next hobby. What are we at, 9 minutes? This might be a little bit of a long one, but hopefully my voice is soothing enough that you'll want to listen to it. Hopefully. Oh, one last thing. So, I told you I love to drink coffee, and one of my friends, he's a fellow entrepreneur. It's the train again. Anyway, my friend, his name is James, and he's a fellow entrepreneur, and he created this company called Warm Up, and his first product is called Warm Up Coffee. I actually have the bag right here. I like it because it's instant coffee, but it also has 15 grams of protein per serving, which is pretty great because I always had issues getting enough protein in, and I love coffee, so why not combine the two? This is actually this isn't the official bag. This is just like a prototype he gave me because his this is a reward because I donated to his Kickstarter campaign that he held last year. But I think his product's coming on within the next month or so. I'll ask him and leave something in the link below if he wants me to promote it. I guess I don't know. I don't really make these to promote. This is like for fun because it relaxes me. And it's been a rough Friday. All right. You all know I like sports, but I also love to read. So I'm reading a couple books right now. I already mentioned that I love to read Tim Ferriss. I've read all of his books, but I'm also reading something called Launch by Jeff Walker. And I'm reading this because in July I'm going to be launching my own product. I think that was a motorcycle. My God, I gotta find a better place to do these videos. But I like this book because it's a great way to learn how to build a business online and launch from an email list, which is what we're trying to do right now at the business that I started last November. So we'll see how it goes. Anyway, some more page flipping, I guess. I don't know if you can hear that. So I'll read a few sentences, I guess. It says, and this is the introduction, it says, this book will build your business fast. Whether you've already got a business or you're itching to start one, this is a recipe for getting more traction. Think about it. What if you could launch like Apple or the big Hollywood studios? What if your prospects eagerly counted down the days until they could buy your product? That would be pretty great in my opinion. What if you could create such a powerful positioning in your market that you all but eliminated your competition? And you could do all of that no matter how humble your business or your budget. Sounds too good to be true. That's what I thought in the beginning, but give it a read if you're interested in entrepreneurship or product launches. It's a great book, and honestly, the guy that does it, Jeff Walker, he's a great guy, very genuine, and he runs a bunch of informational YouTube videos for free online as well, so check him out. I also like to play this board game called Go. It's in China. I think it's called Weiqi, and it originated, I think, around 2,000 years ago. One of the emperors created it to teach his son to think critically, and it's now played all over the world today as one of the most, I think it is the most complicated strategy game, but I have a couple books on that I read as well, and this one in particular is called The Breakthrough to Shodan. Shodan is one dan, or the first of the intermediate amateur ranks. They rank skill in the game by, I think, almost like martial arts ranks. But as you can see, it kind of looks like Othello. If you look, you can see the white and black pieces on the 19 by 19 crosshatch board, and it's a pretty complicated game, but I love to play it, and I've played it for about 7 years now, not consistently, so not that great, but I have played competitively in my area, as well as back in my old home before I moved out here to college. Yeah, I honestly haven't read through this book more than halfway, so I probably should do that if I want to get better, but things have just been so busy these days. Anyway, so that's that hobby. And as you all know, I also like to read the news. I mentioned that I read the Wall Street Journal every day. This is true. This is today's edition as well. It doesn't have the greatest headline. It's the U.S. drops a mother bomb on crisis in Afghanistan. I haven't done a ton of reading on it, don't really have an opinion on it yet, but in the next few days I guess I'll do some reading, some light reading over Easter weekend to see what's going on. But I heard some people liked the newspaper sounds in the last video, so I figured I'd do a few more. This is interesting. So, I don't know if you guys heard about the passenger on United Airlines, but the passenger who was dragged off the United flight plans to sue after suffering a concussion and other injuries. I actually think I saw today that he was going to require some sort of like reconstructive surgery or something like that, or some sort of surgery. I can't remember. So it must have been a pretty intense removal from the plane. I haven't even seen the video yet, but probably not good PR. I think they lost like $1 billion that day, or 800 million, because of that PR incident. Talk about a disaster. Seen that I'm just wearing a t-shirt today. I didn't want to iron my shirt, so I wore the baseball cap and the t-shirt. The suit jacket should be enough for you people. Oh, and if you're a student like I am, you can actually get the Wall Street Journal, 15 weeks of the Wall Street Journal delivered every day in print and digital edition for $15. So it's pretty cheap to stay informed, and it just looks cool when you're reading one of these on the train. You kind of feel like a badass. Or at least I do. And the New York Times as well. To be honest though, I don't read this one every day. It comes to my house every day, but I do not read it every day. Maybe I'll get like a good one of those, what do you call them, the thumbnail photos. Maybe if I do this for a few seconds, it'll come up as one of my thumbnail photos. I don't know. Look at me laughing at my own jokes alone in my house. Hit an all-time low for a Friday night. Jesus. The United States dropped the mother of all bombs, the most powerful conventional bomb in American arsenal, on an Islamic State cave complex in Afghanistan on Thursday. Absolutely never read this section. Of course, I always read this section. Oh, this is interesting. Social investing entices converts. Social investing is the pillar of Wall Street establishment. He spent 27 years at Morgan Stanley, rising to vice chairman. He served a stint managing the endowment at Harvard, his alma mater. He also used a life trustee and member of the investment committee of Amherst College. Not exactly what I thought that article was going to be about. But honestly, marketing and social media in general really interests me, because I think that it is the future of marketing, even for brick and mortar local businesses like a dry cleaner down the street. They could always benefit from targeted social media marketing. And I know that this is probably not typical of what people talk about on an ASMR channel, but I don't really care, because these videos are to relax me and hopefully relax you. So I guess 2016, and I was working at a corporation. Last September, I was working as an analyst at an investment firm, and this book inspired me to quit my job and to start my own business. I had actually been itching to start my own business for a long time, and it was that book, this one, that finally made me pull the trigger and just say enough was enough. I needed to get out and pursue my passion, which in my case is entrepreneurship and finance. So quit my job and just picked up a part-time job working at a nonprofit so that I could pay the bills, and then everything else just went straight to the business. And I'm making a lot less money. Things are tough sometimes, but let me tell you something, I am 10 times happier because I'm doing something that I care about and that matters to me. So I'm looking forward to the future on that. So I guess this is somewhat of a rambling video as well. Fine, rambling video, whatever. Alright. Anyway, if there was a specific trigger you liked in this video, or if you want me to talk less, or I don't really want to talk more, but if you want me to talk less or talk quieter or louder, let me know. And I'll try to see what I can do. You know, I have a total of 3 subscribers. I think one of them is my other account, so I have a total of 2 real subscribers. So whatever you guys want to see, let me know, and we'll see if we can make it happen. Alright, over and out.